We talked for a few more minutes, but then my husband and mother-in-law stopped smiling. "Laura, are you okay?" my husband asked impatiently. "What? Oh, it's nothing," I replied. I knew my husband had something planned. Suddenly, my mother-in-law stood up. "Ouch! Oh," she cried, rushing to the bathroom, holding her stomach. "Mom, are you okay?" my husband asked, worried. "Why does my stomach hurt so much? This can't be. Laura, did you switch the tea?" "I did. Me and your mother." "Why did you do that? What's wrong if I switched the tea? My name is Lara. I'm 30 years old and I work in an office. My husband, Joshua, and I have been married for 2 years. We met at work when he joined our company from a client I was working with. At first he struggled to adjust, but the next time I saw him, he seemed to be doing well. I thought he was smart. We got closer, started going on dates and having dinners together. He confessed his feelings for me, and we officially started dating. Our relationship went smoothly after that. He proposed and we got married. I felt our new life was going very well. Joshua isn't good at cooking, so I always cooked. In return, he did the cleaning and laundry. He also took out the garbage, which was really helpful. But recently his behavior towards me has changed. He used to follow me everywhere and always wanted my attention when we were at home. I had to tell him to be patient, almost like training a puppy. But now he rarely shows me affection. He used to talk to me in a sweet voice, but lately he's been rather cold. "What's for dinner?" he asked. "It's hamburger, your favorite," I replied. "Okay," he said. It didn't seem like he cared much. I went through the trouble of cooking something special for my husband, but his response was distant. It feels like he's lost interest in me. He used to be so loving. I hope he'll treat me kindly again someday. And it's not just my husband. There's someone else who's been bothering me, my mother-in-law. Ever since we got married, she's been critical of me. "Hey Laura, why didn't you prepare snacks?" "I'm sorry, but you came over unexpectedly. You should have expected it and had something ready." No, that wasn't possible. Until recently, my husband always supported me and stood up to my mother-in-law, but now he's started siding with her and criticizing me. I don't think Laura is considerate at all. "A wife should always be ready when my mother visits," he said, agreeing with my mother-in-law. "You never know, I might leave you if you keep this up," he threatened, talking about divorce. It hurts because he wasn't like this before. I feel a mix of sadness and a desire to trust him still. Then something unbelievable happened one weekend. My mother-in-law unexpectedly came over to our house. For some reason she brought tea and sweets that day. The tea looked expensive, and she seemed cheerful as she spoke to me. "I went out of my way to get the best tea I could find today. Let's enjoy it together." I don't understand why she's suddenly so nice to me. It feels like there's some hidden reason behind it. My husband even said, "Thanks, Mom. I'll make the tea today." Lately he's been urging me, "Hurry up and set the table. My mom is waiting." I felt uneasy about his sudden kindness. Then my husband brought me a cup of tea with a smirk on his face. "Wow, it smells amazing," my mother-in-law exclaimed, leaning in to sniff the tea. I was suspicious and leaned in to smell it too. It smelled like regular tea, but there was something off, like there were bubbles floating in it. This couldn't be good. I knew I shouldn't drink it, but what could I do? I wondered if there was any way to switch this tea without them noticing. "Oh, by the way, mother-in-law, your favorite Korean singer was on the music show the other night, and I recorded it. You can watch it if you want," I said. "Really? I'll watch it right now," she replied eagerly, getting up to find the remote control. "Oh, wait, aren't there any snacks? You made tea but forgot about the snacks," I mentioned to my husband. My husband can be a bit touchy, so he easily gets defensive. I was just about to do that. "Give me a moment," he responded, going to fetch the plates and snacks. While they were distracted, I quickly swapped my tea with my mother-in-law's, just as they returned to the table. "Shall we have some tea?" I suggested. "It's quite a nice cup of tea, isn't it?" My mother-in-law and husband started drinking their tea and watched me closely as I took a sip of mine. "This tastes different than usual," I remarked. Both my husband and mother-in-law had smiles on their faces. "Yes, I know, I made sure of it," my husband said. "Yeah, it's delicious," added my mother-in-law. They chuckled at my comment about how good it was. "Yes, it's very good," I said, finishing all the tea. My husband and mother-in-law still had smiles on their faces. We chatted a bit more, but their smiles eventually faded. "Laura, are you feeling okay?" "What?" I responded. "No, it's nothing," my husband said impatiently, clearly up to something. Then suddenly my mother-in-law stood up. "Ouch! Oh." She hurried into the bathroom, clutching her stomach. "Mom, what's the matter?" "Why do I have such a stomach ache? Oh no, this can't be happening." "Hey Laura, did you switch the tea?" my husband asked urgently. "I swapped mine with your mother's," I admitted. "What? Why would you do that? What's wrong with swapping? Does that mean there was something wrong with the first tea you gave me?" "No, it's just that. Tell me the truth, or you won't be able to handle the consequences," And your mother will be in danger, I insisted. Reluctantly, he admitted, I actually put a large amount of powdered laxative in your tea. Wow, no wonder she got a stomachache. Large doses of that stuff can be really dangerous. Seriously, call an ambulance, he said quickly. Okay. That's how my mother-in-law ended up being taken away in an ambulance. My husband was visibly upset and hurried to go with her. Meanwhile, I decided to pour the tea he tampered with into a water bottle to keep as evidence. I'm taking this to the police to file a report. While my husband and mother-in-law were at the hospital, I made the decision to pack up my things. I called my parents and asked them to help me move out. When I arrived at their house, my husband called. My mom's in bad shape. She'll be in the hospital for a few days. Can you bring her some clothes and things she needs? He asked urgently. What? No, I can't do that, I replied firmly. You have to. She's in trouble, and you're my wife. Please, he insisted. I can't do this anymore. I'm filing for divorce, I said decisively. Divorce? I exclaimed. When I mentioned the word, there was a moment of silence from my husband. I understand. If that's what you want, then fine. But since you're the one asking for divorce, you don't get any share of our property, he replied coldly. What are you saying? You're the reason for this divorce, so I deserve my fair share, I retorted. Don't be absurd. I'm not giving you anything. This divorce is your decision, not mine, he argued. I'm appalled. You're the one who tried to make me drink that tea with laxatives. How can you deny your responsibility? Besides, I have strong evidence against you, so you will face consequences, I said firmly. But before I could elaborate, he hung up on me. I realized I had a lot to do, like finding a lawyer, so I let it go for the moment. Later, my husband asked me why my belongings were missing from the house. He blamed me for the house being in disarray because I wasn't doing my chores. I received many unreasonable and selfish messages. No, you're the one who wants a divorce, right? You understand that once we're divorced, you'll have to take care of the house by yourself. There were so many things I wanted to clarify with my husband, but I didn't respond until after I had arranged for a lawyer. Once my mother-in-law was discharged from the hospital, my husband and in-laws visited my parents' house, clearly upset. Divorce isn't the solution, but I'll go along with it. You didn't even bother to visit my mom in the hospital after what happened. You just left our house with your stuff. How can I stay married to someone like you? My husband said arrogantly. My mother-in-law glared at me, and it seemed they had only told their side of the story. My father-in-law believed them. Laura, I think you're being selfish, he remarked. My father-in-law is the only reasonable person in my husband's family. I knew he would see things differently if he knew the whole truth. I took out my phone and played an audio recording. I had actually put a lot of powdered laxatives in Lara's tea. The audio was strong evidence. When they heard it, my husband and mother-in-law turned pale. How did you get that recording? My husband had implicated himself. Father, I felt threatened. I quickly swapped my mother-in-law's tea with mine. Suddenly, she complained of a stomachache. She had always treated me badly, and my husband used to defend me against her. But recently they started teaming up against me, and now he had gone too far. After hearing my side, my father-in-law's expression turned furious as he stared at my husband and mother-in-law. Joshua, what's going on here? Is it true that you've been mistreating her too? He demanded. My husband and mother-in-law were visibly embarrassed under my father-in-law's scrutiny. No, Dad, wait, it was just a joke. Lara got upset stomach from the laxatives I put in her tea. It was meant to be a harmless prank, Joshua tried to explain. I would never mistreat her either. It was all in good fun. You can't call that bullying, my mother-in-law chimed in, attempting to justify herself. I don't think that was just a joke. You can't keep getting away with this. Is this why Joshua has been treating me so terribly? I challenged, my voice steady with resolve. I placed an envelope on the table and revealed its contents. Photographic evidence of my husband's affair that I obtained from a detective agency. My husband's face drained of color. Why? Did you think I was oblivious? Your distant behavior raised suspicions, so I hired a detective agency. I never wanted to believe you were cheating. Maybe you just wanted to push me to divorce you. It was clear I had struck a nerve as my husband broke into a cold sweat. I confronted him with divorce papers, ready to end it all. No matter how clueless you are, facing divorce papers in this situation should make it clear you're in trouble, right? I'll be entitled to alimony and a fair share of our property. Plus, I'm reporting you for assault for putting laxatives in my tea, I asserted firmly. The police? Wait, don't you feel sorry for Joshua? My mother-in-law pleaded. What? Are you serious? It's not just my husband. You too, mother-in-law, are involved. He was working with you, I retorted. Wait a minute. Why should I be blamed? It was Joshua who put the laxatives, my mother-in-law protested. Mom, you came up with this plan. Don't try to pin it all on me, my husband interjected. What? You asked me to help you because you were looking for a new wife, I exclaimed, shocked by my husband's revelation. My husband and mother-in-law began arguing, each refusing to admit their wrongdoing. Finally, my father-in-law had enough and intervened sharply. Enough. Both of you are responsible for this. Stop arguing and face the consequences together. Don't complain when the police come for you. Joshua, you need to take responsibility for your affair. Pay Lara the alimony she deserves and give her your share of the property. My husband and mother-in-law were visibly shaken by my father-in-law's stern words. I was relieved he intervened, as my own father was on the verge of losing his temper too. I'll handle the legal aspects through lawyers, I declared, urging my husband to sign the divorce papers promptly. After much reluctance, my husband finally signed the divorce papers under pressure from my father-in-law. I apologize sincerely for the trouble caused by my foolish son and my wife. I'm truly sorry, my father-in-law said to us, then escorted my husband and mother-in-law home. Following that, I pursued alimony claims against my ex-husband and his affair partner through my lawyer. I received $30,000 from each of them. Subsequently, I filed a police report against my ex-husband and ex-mother-in-law for assault. I provided the audio evidence of my husband planting laxatives and the tea from the incident, leading to their arrest. They were both fined as a result. As a result, my ex-mother-in-law found herself in a situation where she had to work and pay the fine on her own, after my ex-father-in-law left her and filed for divorce. Struggling with the fallout, she couldn't even rely on her own son due to their mutual betrayal. Currently, she's working part-time for a modest salary to meet her obligations. Meanwhile, my ex-husband faced repercussions from his affair partner, who was furious that he had misled her about their future together. She demanded alimony, and my ex-husband, unable to handle the situation, borrowed money to pay her off in a lump sum. This sudden payment caused the affair partner to disappear from his life entirely. In short, my ex-husband found himself abandoned by both me and his affair partner, burdened with significant debt. It's a situation he brought upon himself and truly deserves. On the bright side, I achieved what I wanted, securing my share of the property, which brings me relief. I'm currently living independently in an apartment and working hard. Recently, I even received a promotion at work. I'm considering taking a trip with friends or my parents to celebrate this new chapter in my life. Intentionally putting laxatives in someone's tea is a serious crime, not a joke. Both my ex-husband and ex-mother-in-law should face the consequences for their actions. I'm grateful that my father-in-law was understanding and supportive throughout the ordeal. Despite this disaster, I'm optimistic that I'll find a wonderful person in the future who respects and cares for me.